I'm the executive producer here, John Bates, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I'd like to thank our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Hecate, Waterflame, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee, without whom we wouldn't be able to do much, especially not all the content that we put forward now. I also want to thank all the people that have joined on with us since the, I would say, successful experiment that was Midsummer Night's Dream. If you're interested in that, go check out our YouTube channel, where youtube.com/Sensaku, where we performed the world's first, as far as we're aware, live stream production of a community theater performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. That sounds like a lot of qualifiers. It's more just because that's the way I talk. Please go enjoy them, give us feedback, let us know if you'd like to see more of that in the future. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. You can also follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films, or follow me personally at John A. Bates for all future updates and live notifications for our live stream. In the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy.
Good evening, Internet. Welcome to tonight's episode of In Grover Green, the Final Show Films Changeling the Lost Chronicle. I'm Jack, the storyteller for this World of Darkness game, and to introduce you to our characters tonight, let's start with Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Lys, the Wizened Oracle.
And Jeremy.
I am Jeremy. I am playing Adele, the Darkwing White.
And welcoming back Holly.
I'm Holly. I'm playing Lark, the Beast Windwing.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Phage, the Ogre Gristlegrinder.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I am playing Mira, the fairest Kirigan playmate.
And Neofly, played by Raphael, our Darkling Night Singer, is unfortunately not with us tonight. But we will pick up roughly where we left off. Last week, the motley assembled, spoke about what they had discovered regarding the threat and the disappearances around the city, positing the primary suspects, a courtless motley of changelings known as the Green Wall, and began tossing back a few various ideas or approaches on how they might be able to take on the next stage of this problem. There was also an investigation as to what a cat gets up to after you lock it in a mansion for 48 hours. And Lys found a portrait, or rather, revealed a portrait that she had previously discovered to Adele, whose house that they're in. Adele had absolutely no recollection of ever owning this portrait, which was odd, considering that it was a portrait of her father, pre-Durance. And they did a little bit of investigation on it, eventually removing one of the arcade tokens that covered the portrait's eye, at which point the cat, elsewhere in the house, still not named, freaked the fuck out. And Lys ran out of the room to see what was going on. So,
The cat
starting with Adele.
Yep.
So you have noticed, as Lys tears off out of the room, that your father's revealed eye seems to be possessing a rather feline aspect, and that it's gone with Lys down the hall off elsewhere.
So, curious eyebrow cocks, and then I just drift along after Liz. Because I want to see how this plays out.
All right.
Less panic,
everybody else in
more
the house.
Scientific curiosity.
Sure. Everybody else in the house hears a panicking cat and then running footsteps from the second floor.
Duh. Going.
Butterfly, from where she's laying on the couch, kind of sits up on her elbows. Oh shit!
I look over
and then hides her head under a pillow.
That. Yes, and I go and try and find what's going on.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking for a cat.
Okay, and Lys.
Yep, running.
You're running off in the sound?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody who's looking for a cat can give me a wits and composure. Liz, you got a head start, so I'll give you a +2 on this.
Okay. Three successes.
Okay.
1.
Wits and composure.
1.
Come on. Load in character. There you go.
Why is it not rolling? Let's try that again.
2.
So, Liz, you definitely find the cat first. Everybody else showing up concurrently within about 30 seconds or so.
Okay.
It is currently in a bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
Hissing, spitting, wailing, and sort of cowering in a corner. As you come in, it's not locking eyes with you, but it is not wanting you to get any closer to it.
Okay. Can I tell what's wrong with it? Why is it?
Give me an intelligence and animal ken.
Okay.
-2.
All right. Yeah, that's gonna be a chance die. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm bad at social things. So, ooh, give me a sec. Chance. Yeah, it's not a success.
Okay. Yeah. No. All you can tell is that the cat is freaking out, and if you take steps closer to it, it immediately tries to dodge around you and flee the room.
Okay, I kind of stay in the doorway then, because I don't want it to go hide in the rest of this giant house. It's here now. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay.
Okay. So the rest of you show up, finding Liz sort of doing the hockey goalie thing in the bathroom door as the cat is continuing to panic in the bathtub.
I come up behind because it's just following behind, basically. I just come up behind, like the hands go onto the shoulder and look over one shoulder to look in.
This is a very distressed cat.
Oh, what's wrong with it?
Let me see. I am fairly sure I did not take it. No,
Nobody ever takes animal ken.
That is not true. I have had characters who had animal ken.
I had a character in Animal Ken in the last game we were in.
I currently have animal ken. I only have 1 dot, but
Yeah.
I have animal ken.
So, but it doesn't look like it's bleeding from the eye or anything like that.
Not that you can tell. Anybody who is getting within visual range and is trying to figure out what's up with this cat can make an intelligence animal ken -2.
So I don't take the unskilled penalty because it is a social roll, so I'm just rolling
That's right.
intelligence.
Okay.
Because it doesn't automatically calculate.
So it would be -1 for that, -2, so
Nope.
that will make it a chance die.
it would be a chance die for me too.
1.
Cool.
1.
Wow.
Cool.
Almost 2.
Almost.
Nice. I'm not gonna roll.
I have
Okay.
a theory. But
Lark and Adele, you guys can both tell that this cat is apparently terrified of something that is in reasonable close proximity to it. It's definitely behaving in a way that suggests that it's not picking up where this threat is coming from. Specifically, it's not watching or anything, but it's definitely shying way away from anybody who's in the doorway. and is, of course, now starting to try and climb the walls. Because there's a window.
Someone step on the cat tail.
That'll hurt it.
Let's not do that. I will kind of duck under around Liz, keep this blocked, and I'm going to go for the window to shut it.
Oh, the window is shut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just to a cat, even a shut window looks like a way out.
That's true.
Yep.
At this point, I might look down at the picture, which is in my hands, I guess.
I've got it because
Adele has it?
I'm the one who grabbed it and ripped the button off, or the token off. Yes. I have theories.
What?
I will show you the picture.
Looks normal to you.
Okay. What?
Point it where the eye is.
It's an eye.
What?
Look at it again myself.
Yep. Big ass yellow cat eye.
Do you not see the cat eye?
I'll peek at the picture at this point because I don't know what's going on.
This seems curious. So
It's a relatively distinguished gentleman, graying hair, dressed in a more or less formal manner. Has a relatively severe aspect to him, but looks like it was, it's a photograph. It's not like it's a portrait painting or anything like that.
Is this one of those you can see ghosts things?
My
I
cat.
see ghosts. I don't see cat eyes.
Okay.
Look, it's very simple. Ghosts are simply dead people who haven't moved on yet but have left their bodies.
all right. So what could be causing that kind of difference in a portrait that you can see but we can't?
Well, I would assume some sort of connection to me. This has a particular connection to me. So perhaps I'm seeing something significant. I'm going to try something.
The cat is now going for the sink. When it goes for the sink, it first has to go for the toilet paper roll, so that's everywhere now.
I love how gleefully Jack just utterly destroys everything. All the scenery. I'm going to try something. The cat may freak out a little bit more. And then
You
without
guys
warning,
are
I
not
take
entirely certain.
I take the other token off.
Okay. Give me. Are you doing this with any delicacy?
Does care about the cat somewhat. Yeah, she will take out, actually do the exact same thing that we did before.
Oh, okay. Give me a crafts and dexterity +1 since you're using the knife.
Dexterity, crafts. It's good that I have a +1 because I have no crafts. So that makes it not a chance roll.
Good.
I mean, it's still not a success.
Nope. So yeah, you're trying to get the tip of the knife under there, and you can feel it starting to bite into the tissue of the photograph, and you're trying to avoid that, so you're not making any good progress.
You have to.
Liz was the one who did it last time. Okay.
Okay. I will.
You can make the same roll.
Okay. Dexterity crafts. Let's see. Wait.
You're still rolling it as a chance die.
That was still a chance die. I was like, how do you get no
Hey,
successes on
4
7 dice?
successes.
Trust me, you can
It
easily
happened,
get no
yeah,
successes on 7 dice.
Dice.
happened to
But
me.
yeah, Liz, you adjust your grip slightly, hold it up against the wall, and slide it under and pop that second token off. You didn't know it was possible, but the cat definitely starts freaking out more. At this point, it makes a wild leap off the sink. You think straight for the door. However, it misses the door by about 2 feet and just slams straight into the wall and starts scurrying around the base of the bathroom like it's trying to find the door but can't.
DM, do I have any sedatives that would work on cats?
Give me an intelligence and science roll.
Not a medicine roll.
You could, okay, intelligence and medicine. We'll say even though it's a cat, it would still qualify probably, yeah.
Thank you.
Dexterity and athletics -2 if you're trying to catch the cat. It would take you a little while to figure out proper dosage and that sort of thing, Mira, but you're pretty sure that you've got some stuff in your bag that, given a couple minutes, you could probably come up with a marginally effective, if not significantly capable, feline sedative dose.
Do we need the cat to calm down?
For the sake of my drywall, if nothing else, yes.
Give me a minute, and I'll sort of step a step or two back from the door because there's 3 people in it, and 4 people in it, and one of those people is Phage. The door is not the issue.
What is the roll to try and catch the flailing ball of fur and claws?
Dexterity and athletics -2.
Great! This is not going to go terribly at all.
I will pour one of my glamour into that since athletics is one of the things I can glamour for extra dice. Still nothing though.
Oh shit! Nope, that should have been I need to.
That should have been a chance die for Adele. Yep. Because I want to see how this turns out.
Yep, just a failure. That cat is loose. The cat is loose.
So Phage and Adele both sort of try and lunge at the cat simultaneously. As Mira so keenly observed, however, there are physical constraints to the size of doorways. So there's a brief bobble as the two of you manage to shoulder your ways into the bathroom, during which the cat, now utilizing whatever it can in order to try and evade you, manages to slide between somebody's legs, through somebody else's arms, and is out into the house somewhere now.
Bliss avoided it and did not try and grab it.
Okay. You hear scrabbling claws on smooth floor.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of impacts.
Where can I tell where it's going?
Give me a...
I mean, when cats run, it is a thundering
Wit.
sound.
I know, but we're on a second floor.
Wits and animal ken.
And I'm fairly certain this thing is blind.
That's totally what I mean. When they run, it sounds like a goddamn horse is running through that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's not a chance.
There's a cat scurrying, and then there's a cat bolting, and it's, yeah. This is definitely on that second end.
Okay, no successes.
Yeah, no, it is going out.
I want to try and follow it again.
That certainly did make it panic much worse.
I will try that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody trying to hunt down the cat is wits and composure.
Okay.
I'm going to continue working on cat sedatives, and I'm going to ask, Phage, by any chance, can you make food that cats will really want to eat?
I can... Do you have fish?
Or possibly... well, these snooty old men.
That's,
I have a working theory.
I'll see what I can whip up. And I'll go try and make cat food.
I'm going to continue working on sedatives.
Okay.
Failing at finding a cat.
I got 3 successes for hunting down the
I
cat.
got one.
So, Lark, you just, as this thing tears off, you just slowly walk after it. And eventually it makes its way into one of the bedrooms. Dives right under the bed. And you can just hear it underneath there, doing that sort of low back of the throat, high-pitched growl that cats in distress do.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to try to reach down and like scruff it by the back of the neck.
Okay. Adele, you come into this room just in time to see Lark like reaching a hand out underneath it. There is something incongruously funny about a large bird person trying to catch a cat.
My, how the turntables turn.
The turntables turn. Sorry.
Oh, Michael Scott, you're the worst. Lark, go ahead and give me a just straight dexterity and athletics.
Okay.
Let me look and see if I have any statistics for cats.
2 successes.
2 successes. I'm going to say that's probably enough. We'll just say that's probably good. So you managed to get down there, and this thing apparently can't sense the direction you're coming from. Normally, cats will sort of seize up when you scruff them. You managed to get the cat out from under the bed. It is literally trying to turn around and latch onto your arm and bite the shit out of you. The back legs are flailing wildly, but you're able to hold it away from your body enough that it's not within range to catch anything there. Okay. But it's the difference between holding dead weight of a cat out here and holding, a cat that is torquing with the general energy of a large plug-in reversible drill. It's not easy.
3 pounds of fur and fury.
Yes, pretty much.
All right. She's gonna grab it and go find Liz.
Okay.
Who is just dead-ended somewhere.
Right, Liz is back in the office looking around, trying to...
I'm following behind, watching that cat very closely and curiously.
Okay. Yeah. The cat is starting to wear itself out a little bit, but it is not being dissuaded. Lark, you walk in just with your arm out. Liz, you turn around to see the cat is just wildly trying to attack anything it thinks is even within reach.
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen something try and bite the back of its own neck before. It's kind of weird looking.
Yeah. I can see it closer now. It's not far away from me on the other side of the room in a bathtub.
Right.
Can I tell if it's what's wrong with it?
Wits and investigation.
Okay. I think it's blind, so I'm going off of I'm like trying to confirm that assumption. Because that's what the description sounds like so far. 3 successes.
The clouded, sort of cataracted aspect of both of its eyes now currently definitely confirms your suspicion that whatever's going on, this thing definitely has gone blind.
Yep. Mm-hmm. No, it's gonna keep freaking out like that.
Liz, this is yours. Take it.
It's gonna keep. It's injured. Things that are injured don't want. Lash out.
Do you want to take it to someone who can tank a cat for lack of better terms?
Yeah.
I'm not there.
Mira, by now you have more or less finished your dose.
So right around the word injured, Mira appears around. How are things going?
You know, they've been worse. Everything's lovely.
I see.
The cat is blind.
So in what format do I have cat sedative? Do I have a needle? Powder?
I'll say with your chirurgeon talents, you could have managed to come up with something approximating a syringe.
Okay. I probably have syringes in my kit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can we hold the cat still for a moment? And I will close whatever door I'm coming in through behind me and ensure that there aren't any other doors. Because I am capable of learning from the past.
Am I still holding this thing or has someone taken it?
If you're like, Liz doesn't want to take it.
I will.
Lark's like shoving it in Liz's face.
Okay, fine. I'll try and grab it.
Dexterity and athletics.
Okay.
And I came up with a character sheet.
Sweet. I'm never gonna name this cat, just so you know.
Cat.
Its name is Cat. Yeah.
I mean.
Hey, 1 success.
Not 2 successes, though.
Nope.
The cat is loose.
Yep.
I feel
in
like,
Adele's office.
I feel like the obvious name, for the record, is Blinky Magoo.
This is a
And
name.
hell wouldn't do that. I would.
Yeah.
Papers are now being scattered hither and yon as this thing tears around the room.
This is hell.
Sorry, I'll try and grab it again.
I've been slaughtered, tortured, tormented, slaughtered some more, slaughtered some more, slaughtered some
I'll
more.
hand it down.
Tormented.
Oh,
and this
go
moment
get the cat.
is hell.
What's my roll?
Dexterity and athletics.
Okay. Slightly worse at this than I used to be, but I'm not that bad.
You have to beat 2 successes.
I'm gonna put a willpower in there.
All right.
Oh no.
So you know how we said 0 successes on 7 dice happens sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mira, you go to grab this cat, and you think you have it boxed in, and then it just dashes behind a desk, somehow managing to squeeze its head into about 3 to 4 inches of space.
Are there, so this is just grabbing it is going to go terribly. Are there like a box? I want to do something so that I can like sort of funnel it in so that it doesn't have a place to go. Like take a box on either side kind of thing.
There are a number of things in the office that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody else just still watching, or?
I made my attempt to grab the cat. Now I'm just going back to once someone has successfully rounded up this cat, I have drugs.
Just the wording of that was amazing.
Did Phage ever successfully?
Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
There's been enough noise where it's pretty easy to find where everybody is.
No, the question was, did I successfully manage to make any kind of cat food or something, as was requested?
Oh, give me a just
With the nothing I have. In
wits
the
and
house.
wits and crafts. With the nothing that you have in the house, it's at a -2.
I feel like with the amount of food that has been ordered lately, there might be some leftovers that I can get something from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but none of it is particularly cat focused.
Yeah. Wits, crafts, -2. I'll put a willpower into this. +1.
I did send someone out to get cat supplies. It's just that he's not back yet.
It's true.
2 successes.
So you managed to wrangle together some of the meat toppings off the leftover pizza and a few other things to mash up into something approaching probably cat-centric. As long as the cat doesn't have a strong aversion to certain spices.
Okay. Following the noise as I get to the door. If I'm going to enter the room, just make sure it's far away from the door.
It's loose.
Room service.
Make sure it's far from the door before I come in.
I'll do
It's
my
definitely
best.
not close to the door right
Don't
now.
Try and corner it in, because that's
Yeah,
exactly
I've
what
been
you
trying
should
to
do to a
do
panicked cat.
I love, for the record, that none of us know how to deal with a cat.
No.
I mean,
Spirits in
Like,
the room.
in character.
yeah.
I'm a bird. I don't deal with cats.
Cats deal with you.
All right, so if it's away from the door, I will try and slide in.
Okay, you're able to manage to get yourself in. The cat seems to have gone into sequestered mode for the most part. Still
Slide in
very
that door.
distressed, very angry, but more hiding in a small dark place than rampaging around.
So slide in, shut the door. If I can, I would like to try and use the food to try and get it to at least get closer. If I have to tank it trying to bite me, I'm okay with that. I'm just going to try and see if I can wrangle it with food potentially.
Okay. So you can hear where it is as pretty easily. You managed to get over there, and it's not seemingly terribly aggressive. There's definitely enough space that you can sort of get the bowl up fairly close to its hiding spot. At that point, it's mostly just going to be, is it going to calm down enough to where it's going to eat or not?
Could I beg for manipulation animal Ken?
You'd be at a -4 because this thing has gone into, but you can give it a try if you want.
My manipulation then. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got willpower to burn. Let's change that to a -1. I have a success.
Okay. Let's see how the cat does. Okay. So Phage's cooking abilities are apparently coming through with whatever senses this cat still has. The growling over a period of a few minutes begins to slow. And then the cat makes a motion and starts to slowly creep out towards the smell of this food. And will begin to eat.
She's gonna like very slowly, very gently, trying not to startle it, just kind of slowly move the food closer to her until it is within enough reach that she can very carefully scoop it up, keeping the food in front of its face, and then just try and hold it there. If it tries to bite or claw at her, she'll just take it.
Give me a dexterity and athletics. +1 for it's distracted because food.
Dexterity, Athletics +1. 4 successes.
Nice.
Okay. So, keeping the cat nose into the food dish, Phage kind of scoops it up, and it seems to be focused on eating. The bowl is probably about 3/4 empty by now.
All right. It seems distracted and held. I will very gently insert a needle, and we can put this matter behind us.
Give me a dexterity and medicine then.
Okay. I am putting another willpower in this if I can.
Sure.
Yeah, if I need to tank a cat, I will.
Yeah, I also have a decent amount of health and will not be brought down by a cat. I may be eating those words. There were fire cats last season.
This season.
Oh, this season, yes. There were recently fire cats.
That was the Samhain Festival.
Yep.
Dexterity and medicine. That's only 2 successes. The dice hate me. That's just
They do kind of hate you tonight.
That was 9 dice, yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's... No, 8, 9, 10. There would be 3 in 10, yeah.
The dice hate
Anyway.
me, but let's see if it works.
Yep. So you're able to insert the needle, introduce the sedative to the cat's system, and a couple minutes later, the cat sort of just goes limp. Liz, Mira has killed your cat.
What's wrong with you?
Phage is holding a sleeping cat.
Yeah, I can feel it breathing, yeah.
Well, that's handled.
No, it's gonna
Alright.
wake up again.
That's not a permanent drug.
I was talking about just the whirlwind of doom. For
Do
the
we have a room in your house that is a
cat-proof?
good option?
Can you put the eyes back?
Speaking of, how are those eyes on the portrait? Are they closed now that thing's asleep, or?
I look at the portrait.
Doesn't seem to have
Cat
changed to
eyes?
you, Adele. Yep, still cat eyes.
Liz,
Yeah.
have you ever heard the story of Pandora?
Yeah.
Once you open the box, you can't close it again. I don't think gluing these back on will help. Especially since if this is all... I don't even honestly know where to begin with this whole thing because there is a lot of presupposition here and how those eyes decided to pick out the cat unless the cat was destined to be here, in which case we now have to have a serious conversation with the cat.
Is there a way to detect the weird on things from the hedge?
I looked at it. It's a normal cat.
That you know
Maybe.
of.
I looked at it.
I don't
Maybe.
mean to sound judgmental, dear, but have you ever in your life been wrong before? It's conceivable.
This, even if it is a normal cat, this didn't seem like a normal reaction. It seemed like something definitely happened.
And I don't know why
The portrait wasn't normal.
Yes, we need to figure out why the portrait targeted the cat for nothing else.
Can I tell it all?
It was the only non-us thing here. Or it was the closest.
Oh, do you have any idea if Paige had been a viable target? The kind of hell that would have been being raised right now.
I mean, I would say to you the same thing that I would say that I say to Liz now, which is I'm sorry I blinded your cat without knowing so. But I don't see how this is my fault.
I am going to go see if we can secure a cat panic room in the house.
Yes, I don't know. I mean,
And depending on how long Neo is going to be out, I may need to order her cat supplies online.
there's a utility room that might work.
And I look at the
Where would you like me to set up?
Utility, and I will, room with washer, dryer, all that. And most importantly, tile floors, not carpet.
the portrait
Quite.
picture.
What about it?
Can I see
How
the picture?
robust is the Postmates in this city?
Is the what?
Do you not have Postmates?
No.
Nope.
I don't know what that is.
Postmates is like Uber Eats, but for everything else, and also food.
Not big. No.
I mean, how about Amazon Now?
Definitely not.
It's like Amazon Now, but the people go to stores instead of the Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm sure that the cat.
I'll text Neo, see if he has an update on
Actually, right about now is when the door swings open. Neo's like, all right, I got food, litter,
Excellent. Thank you. And I will take all of that into the laundry room. The cat is sleeping and drugged. There was something about a painting I didn't really understand. I'm sure someone can fill you in.
Did you happen to get any cat eyes while you were out? Because we need a couple spares.
If it wasn't for Butterfly, sometimes I think I wouldn't come back.
We know.
Sorry, what?
Butterfly.
And I'm gonna go not explain myself and that room.
I think that you mean Butterfly and the pact that we are bound into.
So,
Anyway.
yeah.
Yes, so there is a photograph.
Yeah, I'm looking at that thing. Can I tell anything?
Oh, that's right. I point to it because I handed it over to Liz.
Yeah.
That is a photograph of my father.
Okay.
That had these tokens attached to the eyes. That was in my house. That I was not aware of.
Huh.
That Liz found. When we removed the tokens, the cat, who we have no other reason to suspect that is tied to the photograph, because both came to us independently, went blind. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You really don't see any cat eyes on that photo.
No.
Nope.
I'm trying to look at them to figure out if so this is clearly a focus for some sort of if it's still active, because my current working theory is that this was holding some sort of enchantment kind of thing that got released when the tokens were removed with the presence of, a non-changeling thing in the house, because I removed one once before and nothing happened, no one screamed. So this is new.
It is. Well, and
Yeah.
again, you didn't remove them. You took
didn't?
the picture out. No, you took the picture
that's
out of the
right.
frame.
Yes, that's right. I took the picture out of the
Right.
frame to see what was underneath. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because it's got like a little plasticky glass surface on that the
Gotcha.
tokens were adhered to.
That's right. Okay. Yep. So it was the tokens. So I'm looking at the tokens to figure out. I don't know. Do I want to use my thing on this?
As you're looking at it, is something in your own weird?
Yeah.
Kind of, it's like it's bumping up against something that's there. Nothing you can see, nothing tangible, nothing. But there's an odd sense of that this thing specifically is magical in a way.
Mm-hmm. Is it still magical? It's still active?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Again? Okay.
Oh yeah, that I had asked that question. Do changelings have a sense for the weird? Like, can they sense it in other creatures?
In other creatures, sometimes. Like if you met a hedge beast that was not, out, as it were, in the real world, you might be able to just tell by how your weird interacts with its, if you were paying attention. Now running into anything in the hedge, the weird is strong enough there that you can't really differentiate the way you can. But for changelings that are fairly well grounded in their knowledge of what's real, what's hedge, what's just magic in general, that sort of thing, if you've got a high enough clarity level, more or less, you can divine occasionally with strong enough investigation whether or not something's magic or mundane. Yeah.
It's an investigation roll. Okay. Which means I can't do it.
Okay. So
No, it's not an investigation roll.
Okay.
It's more based on your clarity rating.
Okay. Can I divine any sense of the weird off of this cat that I am holding in my arms right now?
What's your clarity?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.
I think everyone's at 7.
I think
the cat is not doesn't seem to be giving off any vibe. You take a minute or two and you just kind of pet this cat quietly. Nothing about it screams or really even seems to indicate that it's anything other than just a normal cat.
That means...
Can I tell with these tokens? Because I know that it's possible to make magical objects. Like, that's what Clink does. But there's also things that just get brought over from, like, the hedge that are magical because they're from the other side. Can I tell which one of those two this is?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Yeah, you know that this picture has some, but you can't tell whether it's because of the tokens, whether it's the tokens themselves, or the picture itself right now.
Okay, so I'm just getting a general sense of about both objects, not one or the other.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it seems to be connected to that.
So Neofly will kind of look around the room. The cat, picture, the relative level of disarray. So are we going after these kidnappers or what?
That's a good question. shite.
Just because Phage would have been there even if Neo wasn't. I'm in the middle of doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And right about now, Mira, you've finished setting up the cat room.
I believe we've got plans for scouting things out at the moment.
All right. Cool.
Talking to people, right? Aaron, you're muted.
I'll pop into the office. I think we've found a suitable arrangement. And might want to head down there before. Does the cat have a name?
No.
No.
That's smart.
Do we need to give it a name? Does that matter?
Let's just go down to the...
I'm going to call it Casper.
That's funny because I was going to call it Spook.
All right. So,
whichever one catches on.
Yeah. Head down to the cat-proofed room.
Okay.
I mean, cat-proofed is always an exaggeration, but...
Us.
Yeah, so I'll walk down there very carefully holding the cat.
Right. It's still fairly well sedated. You assume it's probably going to be at least a good 10, 20 minutes or so, probably before this wears off, Amira.
We still have time. I just thought that it might be better to figure out what we're doing about this before.
Do we want to try covering the eyes, seeing if that does anything? Maybe with the tokens, maybe with something else. Once it wakes up, obviously, so we can get a reaction out of it.
We can certainly try.
I was actually thinking...
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I was actually thinking that while the cat's still sedated would be the time to do a medical exam. It's generally what you do with highly unwilling patients.
It's probably a good idea, yeah.
I understand that this is entirely a normal cat, but the situation does seem somewhat unnatural. So figuring out what is physically present on the cat or around the cat's health is probably useful.
Okay. So if you're wanting to do a medical examination on the cat, that will be an intelligence and... Yeah, I'll make this a medicine roll. I mean, might be science, but...
This can probably help you.
Very healing doesn't apply.
This is more diagnostics than forensics, so we'll say medicine.
What is my medicine specialty? Oh, it's pharmaceutical, so I probably could have rolled more die on the one thing I rolled well. Yeah, cool. So I get 9 again if I'm being assisted.
Well, actually, no. You'll get 2 dice if you're being assisted.
Right.
You get 9. They get 9 agains if you're the one doing the assisting.
Okay.
I feel like veterinarian would be a medicine specialty.
Probably.
Probably also an animal ken specialty, though.
Maybe, yeah.
3 successes.
Okay. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Certain things aren't functioning, from what you can tell, although that's more of an observational behavioral diagnostic. But yeah, no, it's like there's no bits missing. The eyes themselves seem to be heavily cataracted, but it's not like there's an observable cause to that.
They're not just not tracking successfully.
Right. Yeah, they seem to have been somehow physically affected.
Right.
But like, as far as you can tell, there doesn't seem to be damage to the ocular nerves or anything like that. Not that you can really confirm without opening up, right?
Side of like you can see a fair bit of it from the surface, especially with cats, but yeah, there's only so much you can do without at least dilating the pupils.
Right.
I may have a lot of Victorian era medical equipment, but I do not have an optometrist lab.
I could probably get some dilate for pupils, but you'd need the cat to be awake for that. And I've never treated a cat for this before, but I don't think it's a good idea to try and
probably not.
Especially not while it's probably going to be immediately terrified again after waking up.
Yeah, well,
terrified.
With drugs, they'll wake up slowly, and should wake up in a comforting environment where destroying things will not be chastised too harshly. But yeah, I'm fairly confident in my diagnosis, so I don't see any particular reason to go further at this stage before examining the more evident causes.
I don't think we'll be able to get a real answer until we can test the portrait.
Can I use my Panamancy at this point?
If you like. On what?
On the portrait tokens and the tokens, the picture.
What are you trying to divine?
I'm trying to figure out where these came from, how they work.
That's a little beyond the scope of Panamancy. Panamancy is more of a Panamancy is more of an ask me a question, do I get a positive or negative type answer?
Okay.
It's augury from 5th edition.
Feelings about augury. Okay. Okay. I'll use Panamancy then on. I want to ask this. On nope, never mind. I'm gonna save it.
Okay. All right. So what are everybody's plans currently going forward?
I will endeavor to answer Phage's question.
Okay.
We can certainly attempt to reattach them, but they were affixed with glue. Now we can use glue.
Well,
we can use glue, but I was
going to say first just try regular covering.
And when they just simply slide off and the cat goes blind again, if it does work?
If it does work, then we can find some glue or something. Or some tape, maybe. But first, find out if it works.
Is it just me that you're going robot?
Nope.
That's me.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I wasn't sure if if it was my internet or okay.
No, I think William's internet is freaking out again.
Ah, god damn it. Okay.
Yep,
Can
because
you
you're.
hear me?
Yes.
Can hear
Is
you.
it better?
Kenneth?
Kind of.
Oh no.
Oh god damn it!
There he goes.
And that's where we go to break.
All right, we'll be back. now.
Welcome back, everyone.
Now that's been solved.
So, as you guys are discussing what possibly to do about this whole thing, you guys are in the office, which is why all of you hear the...
I thought we moved to the cat room.
The people that were still having the discussion, I think, were still in the office because that's where the picture is currently.
That sound...
Of arriving
like
email?
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that sound could be a lot of things, from a computer booting up to... I go...
Computer
my head,
sprouting flowers.
wander over to my computer.
Yeah, you've got an email.
From...
No sender.
Well, that's not ominous and foreboding at all.
This is where Jeremy just no-sells the opening narration.
It's okay. It's on Lys's computer, too.
I open it.
There's a single attachment, greatnewdeal.mp3.
I delete it.
Okay.
Don't open random emails from without a sender that have or don't open files in random emails that don't have senders. That's how you get viruses.
This would be in the cat room, by the way.
Okay. Do you have your laptop with you?
Oh yeah, definitely. She carries the
All right. So you hear it as well.
At all times. Ooh, I look at it, pull it out. What?
New email. Greatnewdeal.mp3
Yeah,
attachment.
I'll peek over her shoulder, see if I understand what's going on.
She's apparently playing an audio file.
Okay.
Do you struggle for control or for stability? Are you seeking safety? Do you have immediate needs that must be fulfilled? Are you at the end of your proverbial rope, casting about for some solution to the trials that beset you? Try magic. And ignore the mundane, the mainstream, the passive and orthodox methodologies. Magic has been dynamically responsible for over 92% of significant events, both good and bad, over the past few centuries. Magic always has an answer, whether you like it or not, and is open for business 24/7, 365. Our Lady of Mysteries has unlimited power available at varying costs and is happy to take applications at any moment. She doesn't care who you are, what you need, or where you're from. The fearful, the grieving, the angry, the desperate, and the lonely are all qualified to hear Black Hecate's summons.
I can feel you thinking something, and the answer is we don't trust random things we get from the internet, Liz.
Not from the internet. It's.
Where does email come from?
I don't know. It just shows up.
So
My God!
The email comes to your computer through the internet from other people who are also connected to the internet. So the email is random stuff from the internet.
I have to ask, does Liz also get confused why when she goes to random websites, the Facebook ads personalized to her pop up?
Probably. I don't think List doesn't have a Facebook, definitely.
Because that would officially make Liz my mother.
Yeah.
I can say that because I know she doesn't watch this, so.
It's like the radio. This replaced the radio.
Wait, we trust
I
the
don't
person on the
think
radio?
so. I understand where that impression comes from, but I don't think that's all it does, and I don't think that makes it trustworthy. Does that make sense, or do I need to explain further why?
And the pause stretches out.
I
All of a
am
sudden,
very
Unless-
willing to wait.
As all of a sudden on Liz's monitor, pop-up windows come up for Cialis ads and
Ooh. Not yet.
betting sites
Besides,
that
this
are
is
based
in
out of
computer.
countries you've never
that I'm
heard of
infecting.
before.
There's a prince who Liz has been in talks with to get some gold.
She would definitely do that, yeah. But I can magic. It does do stuff when we
But not all magic is necessarily safe or helpful all the time, right?
But what if I can fix this? I gesture at the cat.
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff there. Let's start with your cat isn't broken. Your cat was just really startled because things changed very suddenly. The cat is still functional and a cat. And while we might hope to improve or help, or there's nothing that really needs fixing about it. Okay? And second,
What if it sees what I do, though? What if that's why it was freaking out?
we can try and talk to the cat. I'm pretty sure Lark can talk to cats. Because this was a conversation we had where we said Adele could talk to ghosts, and I'm explaining to the meta. I think Lark can talk to cats, maybe. Or we can find some other way to communicate with the cat and see if you're seeing the same thing as this cat is. But just because this you heard the part about prices, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things I don't really have the best words at, but is sort of intrinsic to what we are.
Yeah, how markets work.
There's a lot of risk. And beyond that, however, if this message was delivered over the same signals the radio had or not, that doesn't mean that this person or this magic will actually help. It might just be very dangerous. Okay? Did Adele explain internet safety and stranger danger to you? Is that ringing a bell?
I don't know. I think phone safety was covered. I don't know if Adele covered internet safety.
No, internet safety was not on the list of.
Stranger danger is probably something she remembers.
Okay.
But also, she met a bunch of you all in a tunnel after escaping from terrible things. So, like, I don't know if she's got it like completely.
She might not have that locked in yet. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
I mean-
how sometimes you meet someone and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a safe person or a good person, and how you shouldn't we've talked about how you shouldn't just tell people everything because there could be reasons why they shouldn't know that, or they might be dangerous, or they might be trying to hurt you.
Yes.
So when you go on AOL or whatever it's called these days.
What's that?
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ, Aaron.
Characters have dates, and we're slowly establishing them.
On internet chat sites or on emails or things like that, it's the same situation. There's people who also have computers, and they're not necessarily safe. They're not necessarily honest. And they might tell you what they want you to hear, even though it's not true, just to get something out of you, to trick you, to get you to come somewhere. Those things are all potentially very bad.
We're going to talk to people.
That's why you have to be careful when you go onto your Juno email.
I had one of those once.
Back in the
Meanwhile,
Look, we have a magically blinded cat and a talking bird. I say we put them both in one room and let them work it out.
Are you going?
That's a bad idea.
I was mostly joking. Mostly. But we can try placing the tokens back over the eyes, but while we are waiting for the cat to wake up from what I'm sure is some Pink Floyd style
Go on.
comfortably numb sort of thing.
That's what I was waiting for, yeah.
Comfortably Numb is definitely my Pink Floyd cover band.
I mean, who else? What other cover band would it be? Perhaps we can look into the situation a little bit further. Perhaps I'm going to grab one of the tokens. I'm going to walk over to my goddamn computer. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to look at it. Actually, I'm going to take a picture of it.
Reverse image search.
And then I am going to Google image search using that picture.
All right. Sounds great. So you take a photo, upload, reverse image search, fuck all comes up. I mean, plenty of other pictures of arcade tokens come up. None of them match this one.
Okay.
Is there like an establishment on that token or anything?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Nope. You guys looked at that last week. Nada.
Yeah.
What's it actually made of?
Brass.
Brass? Okay.
Seems to be some sort of brassy something.
I don't know about how things ran many, many years ago, but I don't think arcade tokens are made of brass nowadays.
This is not a new token, I guarantee that.
Were they frequently made of brass a long time ago?
I mean, it wouldn't be inconceivable.
Because I'm trying to think of arcade games that are old enough to have been not made using plastic tokens.
Yeah, it's very old. Well, old
Were
enough.
arcades around that old?
Not in the go and play Tempest and Paperboy and that sort of arcade. But circus arcades, yes. Other games of chance that did not involve computer chips.
I'm just trying to think of what would be established for long enough and last and in one place long enough to have tokens, rather than just hand me a few dollars and play the game. Because that's the thing, if you're a circus and you're moving around, you don't have tokens because you
Open
lose
tab.
them.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Open tab.
So some place is established.
Search. I'm just gonna start basic and narrow down from there. So start basic with Old Arcade Baltimore.
Okay. As far as that goes,
Thinking places like Skee Ball or theme parks, things like that, perhaps.
Yeah. There's a number of them that are listed. Most of your initial searches are coming up with current ones. You have to sort of parse through and refine a few things in order to get to get any records of sort of like historical, 1970s, 80s, early 90s sort of arcades and that sort of thing. There's a couple that are listed, and most of what you find, though, doesn't include Baltimore.
Okay.
Most of what you find includes establishments up and down the eastern seaboard, ranging from more or less Ocean City, New Jersey, down to Ocean City, Maryland.
Yeah.
There's plenty there that are like kind of a little more vintage. Here locally, you're able to come up with the William Street Arcade in Baltimore.
Down.
And the Patapsco Arcade, which was based out of Canton at some point, which is one of the Baltimore neighborhoods.
How do you spell that one?
Patapsco.
Patapsco Arcade.
Patapsco.
Oh, PSCO.
Yes, PSCO.
Okay. Do either of them have like historical sites talking about them at all?
They definitely more saw their heyday back a couple decades ago. Neither of them are still open. They're some of the earlier establishments with some level of longevity. Patapsco's been closed for probably about 7 years right now.
Okay.
William Street, about the same time, maybe 8 or 9.
And what style of arcade were they?
Patapsco was kind of the more classic video game, skee ball, that sort of thing. Whack-a-mole whatever. But that was the kind. Both of them were the kind where you came in, you bought tokens. Apparently, you played games, you got tickets, you traded in tickets for pieces of junk that were prizes.
Right.
Yeah, it was sort of that kind of arcade.
Okay. I'm trying to think something older. I'm thinking older than that. I look at the photo. About would I know, or would I be able to estimate based on age and various stuff, what around what year it might have been taken?
As far as the photo of in the frame.
Yes.
Oh,
the one of
that's easy enough. All you
look on the back.
Right, you looked on the back, and it said, I believe it was 1996. Let me check.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's not that.
That was Lys's year. I think this one was 1982.
Yes,
might have been.
That actually sounds about right.
Yep, Casper Montgomery, 1982.
1982. That's right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, the only option I can think of. Well, the only remotely functional option I can think of. Find somebody who knows the history of this, or even better, might know what this signifies.
Paige kind of turns one of the tokens over. And do these things have anything on them, or are they just like blank brass tokens?
So there's a little bit on one side. There's a little bit of foliage, kind of around the edges, and it just says 1 credit. On the other side, there's simply a kind of a radial pattern, kind of like what you'd see in the middle of like a compass rose or something. But it's just it's one of those, very symmetrical no matter which way you turn it, kind of flat, radiating.
Do these things look kind of hedged to you?
It's not entirely inconceivable.
Give me an intelligence and occult.
Not athletics, but occult, and not dexterity, but intelligence. 2 dice.
2 successes.
No successes.
DCT thing that I am good at.
Yeah.
So Adele, as the concept of hedge is brought up, you do know that it's possible for mundane objects to simply gather a level of magical functionality simply by duration of being left in the hedge.
Right, of course.
You can't. It takes a lot more intelligence, intent, learning, expertise to actually get something to do exactly what you want it to. But it's conceivable that if you took a handful of coins or tokens or something and just threw them in the hedge and then managed to find them a couple of years later, they'd be magic somehow.
Right. I think the suggestion was more like this actually was created in the hedge.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing that is if you go find those coins and they are now magic coins, it is very unlikely they look like the same coins that you threw them in as.
Yes. So here are my questions. In order of personal priority, not priority as the group as a whole. How did this photo, which is of my father, get these coins attached in such a way that they had some kind of effect attached to them? And then end up in my home without my knowledge.
That's a big one, yeah.
Where did the coins come from? Or what is the nature of the coins? Actually, before the well, I guess it factors into that. Is there any further potential danger? And no offense to our smallest house member, but at the bottom of the priority list is how do we reverse this? That's not saying it's not of zero importance. I'm just saying threat to us before threat to the thing that probably won't learn to use the litter box. This does seem rather targeted.
Your father, you say?
Yes.
What was your relationship to your dad? I'm personal, not like familial. That's kind of obvious.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well,
he was my father.
I
But
mean,
the intonation with which you say that conveys a lot.
I mean, I would say he donated many genetics to me and is somewhat responsible for many of the financial benefits we now enjoy.
Is he still around?
Yes. At least that was my nearest. That was the nearest I was able to figure out before we decided to blind the cat.
Second question, is your father known to do magic?
No. Believe me, I have all kinds of questions right now about possible theories. Again, these are simply off the top of my head. I recognize that many or all of them are completely ridiculous.
Well, we have no answers right now, so all of them are
Yes.
about as likely to be correct. So,
And also, we are talking about ultimately some kind of changeling-esque, fae-esque, some kind of magic thing. So ridiculous is sort of the main
norm,
course. Question number 1. I always assumed that my being grabbed was something that was the result of my actions.
but
Is
could
it
that have been
possible
something?
that he factored in somehow? Either something he did or something he decided. Number 2. I know how this sounds. Is it possible that somehow, in addition to blinding the cat, since the photo was connected to is of my father, it somehow switched my father into the cat? It just came to me as a possibility.
That would be.
If so,
I mean,
I'm
it's a
sorry,
possibility.
I may be murdering that cat.
You know, if we find out that's your dad, be my guest.
Number 3.
Well, now I wish I'd thought of that.
I just had this image of like in the middle of that cat spot. At one point, I was gonna ask if I could empathy the cat. just the cat, like, oh my god, what the fuck?
So that part of GTA where you take drugs and become a cat, but like posh guy.
What is number 3? Why was it placed in my home? Is this in relation specifically to me, or is it in relation to us as a whole? I don't know when it showed up in the home, but I know that the first time that anybody knew about it was when Liz apparently found it
Wait, hang on a
a
minute.
few days ago.
I want to make sure of something here real quick as I look at the photo. Could you describe your father to me visually?
I will describe him.
Does what she is describing match what I'm seeing on this photo?
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to make sure this is not a photo of a different
it's
person
not
that I'm seeing. Because she saw the eyes, I didn't see the eyes.
Seduction.
Okay.
But no, Adele's physical description does match what you're seeing in the photo.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't looking at a photo of a different person.
So is it in relation? Was it specifically for me, or was it for involved?
Does your father have any relation to this old house? At all?
No, absolutely not, and none whatsoever. I purchased this house once I got out once I escaped.
Okay.
Adele, give me an intelligence and let's say academics.
Okay. Three successes.
So you know that your father was a financier.
Right.
Financial quasi-brokerage things. He also was, however, fairly heavily involved in real estate, basically in Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. As you're giving this very vehement denial, you are 90% sure he is not directly involved in any dealings regarding this house, especially to your knowledge recently. However, could it maybe have been something he had interacted with at some point in his earlier days? You don't know. You are very convinced that it is probably highly unlikely.
Right.
But there is that tweak of but maybe.
I'm
Now,
absolutely certain not.
do you think he
But-
could have predicted that you would have purchased it later? Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, absolutely not. That said, we can certainly look into the house's history.
Because my thing is, if this was laid out for you, why would it not work on changelings?
That's a supposition that it was specifically targeting the first thing that wasn't a change.
That's fair, but it seems odd that it would go for the cat and not any of us if it was left as something for a changeling.
Give me that thing.
I hand her the token.
I'm going to look very, very closely at the eyes.
Or the portrait, yeah.
Okay.
Are they...
Do they follow you when you move around the room?
I mean, that wasn't quite what I was going to say, but
Okay.
kind of yes.
Do they move?
Do they look like they are part of the still picture?
They don't look like they've been painted on top. Or... Mm-hmm. No, they definitely look like the photograph was taken of a man who happened to have cat eyeballs.
Okay. I mean, so... Other than the fact that they're cat eyes, there doesn't seem to be anything odd about them.
Right.
Okay.
You're at a clarity 7 too, right, Jeremy?
Correct.
You're definitely getting a magical vibe off this portrait, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and you didn't really expect to not get that.
Right. But yeah.
But there's a level of confirmation that your weird is like, hey, there's something active here. Poke, poke.
Okay. Everything that I can think of in terms of immediate things to do involve going to talking to someone else or something that cannot be undone.
So, just my logical quandaries at the moment. If this was a thing specifically related to you, I have a couple of problems. No offense to you, but you don't exactly interact with anyone who's not a changeling very regularly.
That is
And certainly not
absolutely
everyone will.
untrue.
Also, or a ghost, I'll admit, or a ghost.
That's not it. That is entirely untrue as well.
Is there another exception?
There are many other exceptions.
Oh, right, you have a lawyer.
That's among them, yes.
But my point is, you're not exactly a person who has mundane people around your house by choice a lot of the time.
Not necessarily.
This thing...
It does not happen.
You also don't seem to strike me as a person who would have a pet.
I used to like pets quite. I used to like pet animals quite a lot until that bird.
Fair enough. I'm trying to think of why this would have happened like this if it was for you. Because it didn't seem to target anything related to you, aside from the fact that it is apparently a portrait of your father.
And was in
While this conversation is going on, what are the other three of you up to? Given that the cat is now more or less comfortably sequestered.
We don't have to go over this in detail, but I very patiently, very calmly, and helping whenever she seems to have questions or not quite get it, giving Liz an explanation of phone safety and internet safety and why you don't necessarily trust people with your information and how those people might lie to you. Yeah.
Give me a...
Time or not.
Give me a socialize and a composure and socialize.
Not persuasion?
Nope.
Fine. I'll burn another willpower on this because this is actually important.
Okay.
Wait, that's intelligence. Why is it still intelligent? This character sheet.
Yeah, I usually find it helpful to unclick everything and then select the ones I need.
Yeah, I just forget sometimes.
It's all good.
You're rolling terribly, yeah.
Yeah, the dice hate me today, but that's still a success.
Mm-hmm. You managed to fairly clearly establish a more or less coherent system of these are the things one should be concerned about when interacting with somebody in the technology age. Now, granted, you've only been back in the technology age for about 2 weeks-ish, 3 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
So there might be a little bit of either overemphasis of certain aspects or underplaying of levels of phenomena that might warrant slightly more, but by and large, you get the basics across for Liz.
Mhm. Yeah. All right.
The list, you've got kind of this explanation sort of rattling around your head again. Lark, what are you up to?
Did we have a plan on going after the can't remember the group's name now.
Greenwall.
Those
Yes.
people.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mira was going to the short of it was Mira was going to try and make connections and find out who they might be friendly with, who they and figure out things from there. And
Specifically, Adele challenged Mira to do that.
yes,
But
This
because
is true.
Adele is a motivational person.
Sure.
That is certainly one way to look at it. But yeah. And most of those results kind of have come back in, at least your initial ones,
Yes.
Mira.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep communicating with people using that new information. It's just
Okay.
Yeah.
realistically, that's not something that happens overnight most of the time.
Definitely not. Yep. So yeah, Mira is spearheading the intel gathering sequence, more or less, at this point, Lark.
Okay. In that case, she's just gonna go downstairs. She's gonna take out her phone and send Barnaby a text.
Okay.
Now, what time of day is it, by the way?
And right about now, it's pushing probably 9 p.m., I think.
Okay. She'll just send him a text and see if he wants to get together like in the next day or two.
In a few minutes, you'll get an affirmative response. He says he's probably got a couple hours tomorrow, or if things spiral out of control, he's definitely going to be at the night gallery when it's open the day after.
Okay.
Unless you were looking for like something a little more in depth or time consuming, at which point he'll see what he can move around.
Okay. She'll let him know that like meeting up at the night gallery would be good.
Okay. He says he'll reserve you a spot on his dance card.
And then after that, she'll probably just keep an eye on Butterfly.
Okay. Butterfly is wandering around the house. She will step into a corner and kind of crouch down on her heels a little bit and just sort of scan the room. It's almost like she's picking vantage points. Sometimes she'll climb up on a table and do it there. At one point, she walks up the stairs and then climbs over the railing, so she's basically as high as she can be in the stairwell hall and just staring at things. She does this for about 15 minutes. And then she gets down and goes looking for Liz.
Liz, after kind of the explanation, at any point do you explain the texting etiquette of don't text in all caps? It's a little weird.
I mean, almost certainly that does come up, that texting different ways can mean different things.
This is
So texting in all caps is like screaming whatever is being said. Bolded is like saying it emphatically.
Oh.
Very abbreviated talk can mean a lot of things. It can mean that you're busy, or something about telegrams, but I was not around for that.
Okay. In that case, let's
basically like if your plan has a cap, sometimes you want to use abbreviations.
Okay. Liz will then delete the previous text and retype it. This time with punctuation in lowercase. Same message.
To Sunset Blue?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So
Okay.
you want did you want to meet tonight? And send that. And then she's probably staying in the room, actually. With the cat. When's it gonna wake up?
It'll be a few more minutes, and we want to be sure it's cool and relaxed. That it knows that even though something happened that wasn't ideal, we're still here. And if it cooperates, everything will be better.
Okay. I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
Your phone vibrates, Liz.
Mm-hmm.
I can send you a car later.
Okay.
You need help with?
What's your address?
Liz, it looks like you're thinking about things.
Yeah.
Do you need help?
Maybe I will. She wants to meet and car coming.
All right.
The
You
police know this.
mentioned that I believe Phage was going to go with you, right? In physical, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would get Adele's permission before giving out the address. And I would also ask if it would be all right if one of your motley mates came.
Okay.
And like we talked about, it's always important to stay with someone when you're going to an unknown location. Even though we do in general trust her.
Okay.
I'm allowed to lie, you ass.
So probably partway through that, Liz is gonna dash off.
Yeah. That's on brand.
I'm gonna find her. And I'll go find Phage, I guess.
Okay.
Did you send any of that information back to Sunset, though?
Not yet.
Okay.
Mira told me to ask, so.
Meanwhile, in the office, inexplicably, for no reason whatsoever, Stephen Lynch is playing on the computer.
Which one?
I'm just saying, there might be Stephen Lynch songs relevant to our situation right now. But
You playing Killer
regardless,
King right now?
I'm joking. She's not.
Do you want to come with?
So.
As I swing around the corner.
With to where?
Sunset Blue. It's gonna send a car.
Right. Is it okay to send Sunset the address? I mean, I feel like
Perhaps if you could, the two of you could meet at the crack house. This is sort of the one place that nobody else really necessarily knows about. That is our communal place.
That's fair.
Okay.
Our communal place. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Liz, have you ever ridden a motorcycle before?
No.
Well, this should be fun.
Oh boy.
The person who is made of anxiety and fear is about to get on the back of
We're gonna
the
drive then.
flimsiest thing that can go 60 miles an hour that's ever been made.
Yeah, that's it. So we're gonna drive then. I'll need to borrow one of the car keys.
Yes, of course.
This is typing out then, yeah, can, Phage come with? Because she's met Phage, so I'm just gonna use her name.
Yeah.
Can Phage come with? And then address is, and I will give the crack house address then. When? Also. Because you just said later, which is very vague.
So the response will get back. Just make sure you're there all night. And the car will bring you here. Phage can come, but she'll have to stay downstairs.
Okay. She says it's okay.
All right.
Not maybe in the same room at all times, but
It's fine. Should we get? Did they have a time? Should we get going?
yeah,
All
all
right.
night.
All right. I'll take Liz over to the crack house then. I need to borrow some of the keys.
Yes. Oh, here. I will hand over my keys.
Okay.
If we have to go somewhere, they're just going to have to get used to the idea of that car smelling. Go, go, go.
I start going. Let's go, Liz.
Bye. Can you hang out with the cat? It might be scared when it wakes up.
Oh, remember to try covering the eyes with something. Maybe not the tokens.
Liz, dear, you know me.
Yeah.
Do you think
Don't
there's
stab
anything about me
Don't
that
stab.
would make...
Don't stab.
I'm
my
not going
cat.
to... First of all, it might be equal parts your cat and my father, but that's besides the point. At
I
which
won't
point,
stab the cat. I'll just
my
strangle him.
desire to murder the cat might outweigh my. But regardless, we don't know that for now, and that's a low chance. Even that being the case, you know me. Is there anything about me that you think would be soothing to animals?
No.
Including the fact that
What a-
ghosts tend to follow me around.
Do you have like a heat blanket?
This is the
No.
devil we're talking about, Liz.
No, I do not have a heat blanket. I'm sure Mira can take very good care of Casper.
Bye.
Be safe.
And just
Good luck.
yeah, just give the portrait a try, please, when the cat wakes up or
Yes, I will
something.
give the portrait a try. For this thing that will not work, I will absolutely try.
And I'll take Liz back to the crack house.
Okay. So you guys are at the crack house. The rest of you are at the house. Is anything happening of note before the cat wakes up?
Yes, I'm actually going to go find Lark.
Okay.
Lark, dear, I know this is a resource that we tend to lean upon often, but is there any chance you could ask Barnaby if there are if there might be any significance to these tokens that in relation to us changelings or anything in relation it's clearly some kind of magic of some kind apparently removing it caused the cat blindness I see cat eyes. Nobody. Do you see cat eyes? I don't think anybody sees cat eyes but me. But we should at least check. But could you see if there's maybe any kind of? We only have so many resources for information, and I feel like if we don't ask somebody, as loath as I am to trust anybody who's not bound to this group, then Phage and I are just going to argue about it forever.
Okay, let me see the coins.
Yes, thank you.
She'll take a picture of them on her phone.
Okay.
And then she's gonna text it to Barnaby and just say, like, is there anything significant, like, that you know of pertaining to changelings?
He will respond back fairly quickly. I would need a lot more context, probably. I mean, this could be almost anything, depending what is happening.
We took these off a portrait of, and then a cat went blind.
Yes.
Yeah, good luck explaining this in the space of one text.
And depending on how long it takes to text back, there will eventually be a follow-up text. Should I just call you?
This cannot be the weirdest thing that this guy has encountered.
Oh, by no means.
It's not the weirdest thing we've presented to it.
That's fair. That's fair.
She'll text back, probably.
So your phone will ring.
Okay, she'll answer. Hello.
Hey, Lark. Yeah, so, okay. It looks like some sort of facsimile of a coin or token or something. I mean, not token, but like, yeah. Token in the human token concept of token.
So Adele found these on, like, a portrait in her house that she didn't know was there.
Okay.
And I guess we're just trying to figure out, like, if they could mean anything.
I mean, obviously, she took them off. Did anything happen?
The house cat went blind.
The cat that we found in the house of a fetch went blind.
Don't tell him that part. That it's the fetch's cat.
But what if it's a vital clue?
We have this cat, and the cat went blind, and she claims that one of the eyes that the coin was covering, like, is a cat eye.
I mean, it is.
But she's the only one that can see it.
Okay. So, portrait is found that was not thought to exist previously, has tokens over the eyes. The tokens are removed, and the eyes look like cat eyes, and now your cat can't see anything.
Yes.
I am weighing the possibility that if we destroy the photo, the cat will be able to see again, like it has trapped its vision. But this is something that if we're wrong about, we can only test this theory once.
Yeah. Is Barnaby on speakerphone, and is Adele saying this out loud?
She's saying it out loud, yeah, whether he's on speakerphone or not.
I mean,
that's just in response that's just in response to Lark specifically.
Okay.
Well, that thing where you're talking on the phone and the person next to you really wants to comment on the conversation.
Right.
Lark's gonna put him on speakerphone because she's not repeating all this.
Okay. He'll ask Adele to repeat herself, which I assume she does. Right.
Yep.
Well, that would be my first guess, is that
The cat's vision
For
is
whatever.
trapped in the photo.
Well, not. I mean, trapped would be good. Taken and currently being used, maybe.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Like, I assume that you're fairly attached to this cat, but I would burn the shit out of that photo portrait thing right now, given the option.
I don't know. It's Slitz's cat.
Right. Yeah, no, that tracks.
If we do this, somebody else is doing it. I do not want Liz to be angry at me for threatening and for causing harm. No, I didn't cause harm the first time to another of her pets.
I'm still down in the cat room, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, cool.
Unless you want to have been elsewhere at the time.
No, I'm just.
There's been plenty of time, right?
Photo and thus the cat on fire while I'm still holding the cat.
Right. Yeah.
If the photo is now the cat's voodoo doll and we light the photo on fire.
Sorry. That was just a funny image.
Flame cats have been a thing before.
Oh no.
So yeah, Barnaby's. I mean, the idea be Adele. You're the only one who can see. Who is in the portrait? Anybody
That's a
particular,
long
or just?
story. Yes, somebody of significance. That is as near as I am comfortable saying at this particular point.
Okay, well,
somebody of personal significance to me.
That sounds like. I mean, it sounds like the sort of thing where something was placed there, Adele, that would definitely draw your attention whenever it was found and encourage, and you would probably be very naturally curious and likely to investigate. And when you cover something's eyes with something, then taking them off. Yeah, no, it was baited in for somebody who, I mean, that's perfect bait for anybody in our court, really. Yeah. And once the tokens were removed, it probably grabbed whatever sensory perception was accessible to it close by that it could utilize.
And
which
this is
in
a
this
point
case,
where the sound of a as that photo is being shoved through an activated shredder at the moment.
okay.
And the cat becomes a bloody mess.
Oh god.
So, Mira.
There is a fucking spy in the house.
It's fine. I would have liked some heads up, but I'm going to have to fight a cat demon. It's fine.
So, Mira, you're holding the cat, just sort of petting it, and you feel it suddenly spasm. Claws come out and dig into your arm. Okay.
If that's possible.
You sustain a minor scratch, not even enough for one bashing damage, as claws come out and it tightens, and you push it away from you, and it's sort of convulsing a bit. And then it quiets. Barnaby says, that sounded like a shredder. Probably good enough, I guess.
Oh no, her hand is underneath the like where the shreds come out and collecting what's left because she's gonna burn what's remains.
Okay.
Don't worry, we've got this covered. Can
I send a text as I see this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to probably Adele. I don't know. I think Phage and Liz have already left, so Adele.
Yes, they have.
I don't know if Lark is there or not right now. This says testing something with a question mark.
Sure.
So, Adele, you're right. I can hang on the phone if we want to see how this turns out.
Do we want to do that? Or books that are
Yes,
down?
I'll put the shredded remains of the photo on the desk and text back. How is Casper?
Spasms? Question mark.
That sounds bad.
Mira, as you send that, you glanced over. They are starting to slow. They're less frequent and less extreme.
Not anymore.
Still
Did I
alive?
call you? That's
I'm
the
on
booker.
my way. We are fucking texting.
What's happening?
50 feet away from each other.
Well,
Your
50
house
feet
is
and a
big.
couple stories, but yeah.
The cat alone right now. I don't know what's going on.
We are going to go see what is up with the cat.
Okay, yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
So by the time you guys get down to the basement or wherever the utility room is, the cat is quiet, but seems to be stirring and starting to wake it, sort of look like it's trying to wake up a bit.
Gonna fill me in?
Door creaks open and pokes in, expecting like just a like the
Bloody.
cat explode.
You're expecting a Boondock Saints moment.
Oh god.
Is everything all
That's the
right in
next-
here?
I really would like details, but it seems to be alive. If
The short
Wait,
version of the story is we believe that it turned the cat into a walking spy camera.
that makes
Actually, probably not.
I,
More likely the portrait.
Barnaby.
Because that's the one that had the eyes in it, right? Did it do
Yes.
anything to the cat's eyes? Like, did the cat's eyes, like, pop out or disintegrate or...
cataract.
Well, it was.
Hello, Barnaby.
Mira, how's it going?
Well,
I mean,
dealing with this.
yeah.
Okay.
But regardless, so it was shoved
tried-
through a shredder.
destroying that side of the, and it didn't work, I assume.
I mean, it destroyed the photo. I was going to burn it later, but we can go do that now. How is the cat?
Can I do a medicine something?
Yeah. Just straight intelligence and medicine.
Okay.
I mean, the immediate thing is look it in the eyes
Yeah,
and
can
see
it
if its eyes are not cataracted.
Like, first I'm checking for if it's alive. If
I mean,
I'm
okay,
doing
that is a
well
valid
enough
point.
That's
after
fair.
that, I can
Yeah.
check the eyes. But I have
Can-
been rolling huge dice pools with like 1 successes. Oh, that's the wrong button. That was the roll initiative button.
Can it see yet? No. Why? Because it's dead.
0 successes because that was 4 ones.
Oh. Oh goodness.
So it's very quiet. Whatever's happened to the cat, it's very quiet. If there's a pulse, it's very hard to tell.
Put my
Hard
hand.
to say. Still warm, but we could wait.
Is it breathing?
I'll pull out a
Put your
small little
hand-
mirror compact and put it in front of the cat's face.
You are getting
for
a little
God's
was of
sakes,
condensation.
Put your hand on the cat's side and see if there's a rise and fall.
It's really light.
I'm not a veterinarian.
For ventilate. For
I-
dust.
Might deal with these changelings a fair bit, but I don't normally deal with non-weird cats.
There is no such thing as a cat who isn't weird.
You know
Ah!
It's breathing.
Yeah, it's breathing.
Yep.
So not if we're going to burn it, do you have something to burn it with?
Are you asking if I have means to burn things? Because I do.
I was not sure if you were going to be comfortable using your lighter for this.
My lighter cost me 70.
I guess the question I'm actually asking is, do you want to burn the picture or kill the cat first?
God, I love Mira.
I'm willing to help you, but the order of events is confusing to me right now.
Mira, if possible, we are not killing the cat.
I would agree with that quite strongly.
Therefore, we will be burning the photo first.
Okay, great. I'm going to stand a little bit away because previously it scratched me and I don't want it for it to catch fire on me. And then you're free to burn it.
All right. We have to go back to the office to get the portrait. I will be back.
I'll be on speaker call with you so I can observe from here.
Sure.
Oh, we got one person.
Do you hand Mira a fire extinguisher before you leave the room?
No.
Okay.
I am not smart enough to ask for a fire extinguisher. I'm just smart enough to walk to the other side of the room.
On the way back to the office, I sort of quietly, so it's not picked up by the phone, whisper to Lark, if the cat dies, we blame it on Mira, right? Okay.
Sorry, what was that? Couldn't hear you guys.
Nothing.
Okay. Where are we? What's happening now?
Can I get an empathy roll? Because I heard Barnaby's reaction.
But they were like all the way down the hall by that point.
No, not a perception roll. Can I figure out what that probably was?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Wits and empathy -2 because of distance.
Okay. That's a chance die. I think this should roll correctly.
Hey.
Nice.
Yes, it does.
Nice.
And that is one success.
There you go.
You definitely heard Barnaby ask them a question. You're not entirely sure if it was.
So I thought I am also on the.
You
because
are.
what we
You
set
are.
up is I am.
Oh, that's right. You're on speakerphone, and
I
he's on.
can
That's
hear
right.
it.
Yeah,
I
you.
Barnaby.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So you could. Yeah, you heard Barnaby say, "What was that?" Yep. Sorry, I completely forgot that link was in place.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they quickly tell him, "Nothing. It was nothing."
Can I make an inference? That is what I was asking.
You can definitely make an inference.
I've taken this bullet for you before, Adele. I certainly don't mind doing so again.
Very well. Let's go.
So
I go
you
back?
guys make it back to the office.
I like to have a literal game of telephone here, where you've got one person on speakerphone with Adele, who is talking to Lark, who is on speakerphone with Barnaby.
Hey, in fairness, we run a club. We're probably pretty used to this situation.
True that.
Fair.
So yeah, take it. I am going to assume, based on me, on it being Adele, that there is probably a brazier of some kind in the office.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Or even like a decorative coal scuttle or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Very large ashtray. All right. So you light it on
Strike
fire.
a match. Boom. Wait for
Give
the
me
sounds of
a
howling.
wits and composure, Mira.
Okay.
Cat suddenly smoldering.
Oh God.
Not on fire, just smoldering. Because he didn't shred when the portrait got put in the shredder.
Somehow it managed to miss the eyes.
It went like directly on either side.
One success.
You definitely think you catch a whiff of hair burning has a very sharp, distinct, noticeable smell.
Especially
And
cat.
there's a faint wisp of smoke, two of them actually, coming from the cat's head.
Well, there's definitely some burning happening.
And then it vanishes after a moment.
Um,
And the cat is just
vanishes
there.
as in Smoke or
The smoke vanishes, not the cat.
Okay.
The smoke vanishes.
The cat goes,
Look.
And then the cat
Important
just blinks out.
distinction.
Yes, no, that is a very important distinction. Yes, the smoke vanishes.
Not
And
anymore, but
the cat stirs. He definitely is missing some hair around sort of the corners of the eyes and the snout a bit. Stands up, stretches, yawns, does the normal cat, tail curl, and then turns to you, blinks, eyes clear, starts washing his face.
and can definitely see again.
Wonderful. Well, that solves that.
I
It
double down on
answers-
him. I double down on him being named Spook, by the way.
It answers nothing, but it solves that.
Yeah, that's kind of disturbing as shit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna text to the big group text message. Fixed your cat. Send.
But yeah, we'll be on the lookout for any more portraits with things on the eyes, I guess.
It is worth mentioning that there's no I have no idea when this might have appeared here.
Okay.
The earliest that we know of was a matter of how many days has it been since? It's been like month plus, easily month plus.
Well,
Since the first time they were here.
you were able to talk to Lark and establish that it was the day after the opening of the night gallery is when she found
Right.
it. Listed.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I know. That was me in my head trying to, or verbally in my head, trying to remember how long that's been.
Yeah, that's been about 2 weeks, I think, or so.
Only 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Has that been there?
2 weeks to a month tops.
Okay. So, yeah. That is the soonest that it was, or the most recent. But it could have been here much longer.
Right. Okay. If you have those, did you destroy the tokens too, or just the portrait?
No, I have the tokens.
I'd hang on to those.
Tokens through a shredder, or burn them.
I don't know what you can do with your place. I'd hang on to those and see, like, analysis, figure out maybe origin, anything. Those might be a decent link in trying to track this back if that becomes a thing, what with kidnappings and shit. But yeah.
That was the plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Definitely. I'll see you guys later,
All right.
I guess.
Bye.
Bye, Mira. Night, Lark.
Night.
Click.
Well, that
I'm
went
gonna check
rather
if that cat's alive.
Cat seems to be doing fine. Casper is not bothered.
Do check
Seemingly.
and make
He's-
sure that it does, even whether it's walking around or not, make sure it's breathing and has a pulse.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yep. He seems to be kind of favoring one of his back legs a little gingerly, like something hurts back there. But not enough to keep him from still, it's not like he's dragging it behind him or anything.
But breathing and pulse.
Definite breathing, definite pulse.
Seems like still operating on typical organic.
Wonderful.
Doing quite well for having been put through a shredder.
And
I mean, it wasn't put. The cat wasn't put through a shredder. Just their eyes. You can survive your eyes being put through a shredder.
Probably.
Says the voice of
Depends on the
experience.
sanitary conditions.
When someone's putting your eye through a shredder, sanitation isn't really the concern.
Can we agree to not tell Liz what we just did?
Yeah, probably smart.
Speaking
I
of
will say
Liz,
we did it through. We destroyed the photo after definitively learning through the internet.
I just heard that the internet is not magic and you shouldn't use it to solve all your problems because she was clicking on spam emails about magic.
No,
and-
you shouldn't. But you can use it for some of your problems, and she doesn't know exactly which ones.
Adele, I was wondering how Liz had lived with you guys for months and never had this stuff explained to her. I think I figured it out. You need to actually explain it to her in terms she understands, not just tell her that she doesn't understand, because then she'll want to do it.
It's okay. I'll just tell her. I just tell her I went on the dark web. It'll be fine. She'll never go there. No, I'm kidding.
No, she'll find me.
I'm kidding. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no.
yes. So anyway, speaking of Liz
Yeah.
and Phage,
Yeah.
you guys hang out at the crack house for a while. There's a number of hours that pass, and then sometime around 1 a.m., you hear an engine.
There's our ride.
It's a low growl starting a little ways away. And then, without getting too much louder, but somehow increasing the reverberation, you can sense it getting closer and closer and closer. And you see a pair of pale blue headlights make the turn onto your block and pull up outside the crack house. It's a sports car, that's for sure.
Sunset Blue and her money.
And Liz, you recognize as the tinted windows roll down and the door swings open, you recognize the individual behind the wheel who steps out and sort of just waves at the house. She was at the autumn court meeting. She has far more eyes than are strictly necessary. 2 large ones right about where they should be. And then a spattering of smaller ones, a couple arcing up and above, some dropping down almost to the lower jaw. And she smiles, and human teeth aren't what's inside. It's more just a number of blackened fangs. Not blackened with rot, but simply just ebony and shiny inside. Her fingers flex with almost a disturbing level of dexterity. And there are a pair of faint glowing greenish bulges somewhere right here on the sides of her neck. And she's waiting.
Well, shall we?
Yeah. Lissa's gonna stare at the headlights as we go out, because suddenly nerves.
Okay.
And basically, yeah, because Phage is has to stay downstairs, and that's worrying her suddenly. So, because I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
So I want to use Panamancy on that.
Give me a wits and composure then.
Okay. 3 successes.
You glance into the headlights and then look away. The after image is a little difficult, and it takes you a moment to parse it. The sense you get is one of risk, not danger, risk. The level of what you're sort of setting yourself up to take on is difficult to evaluate. Give me an intelligence and occult.
Okay. Sure. Two successes.
You know that your kind, changelings, definitely experience dreams with a different intensity and frequency than mortals and other mundanes generally do. Prophetic dreams even aren't necessarily nearly as uncommon. But you are not entirely certain that you can conjure one up out of nothing.
Yeah.
So either you're going to have to try and con somebody into thinking they've had a prophetic dream, and you know that those sort of things are much more difficult to do to a changeling than it would be to somebody else. Or you are going to have to be extremely, extremely lucky tonight. As you guys step into the vehicle, the driver turns and holds out a hand to you, Phage. Silk strings. Pleasure.
Phage, likewise. Shakes hand.
Pulls her hand back. Positions them on the steering wheel, which you see is definitely worked in a spiderwebbish aspect. Well, let's see if you guys are as good as you say, shall we? The doors shut, the locks click in, and with a burst of acceleration. She tears down the street, headed northwards, making a quick turn to take you guys in an easterly direction, and the taillights just recede into the darkness of a Baltimore night. And that's where we're going to finish for this evening.
Nope.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.